Bienvenue à este video. Just kidding, this is not a French video. This is a Spanish video. Welcome. Today, we're talking about the present progressive in Spanish, aka the ing verbs in English. So, laughing, eating, crying, sweating. So, all we need to do is take the infinitive verb estar and combine it with the present participle. Now, what is the present participle, Nate? I don't like crazy words. Me neither. The present participle is simply taking an infinitive verb, so either AR, ER, or IR, and attaching on this new ending, which is as follows. For AR verbs, we're going to attach on ando, okay? A-N-D-O. Remember, in order to conjugate verbs in Spanish, all you need to do is cut off the AR, ER, or IR ending of the verb, and then add on the new ending according to our rule. So in this case, in order to use those ing verbs in Spanish, we're going to have ando for the AR verbs, and for the ER and IR verbs, we have yendo, okay? I-E-N-D-O, okay? So comiendo or viviendo. Remember that the V's in Spanish are pronounced like a B, so it's not viviendo. That's incorrect. It's viviendo, kind of that soft B sound. Okay? That's all you need to do in order to form the present progressive. Now, a quick refresher on the conjugations of the verb estar in the present tense. We have estoy, I am, estás, you are, está, he is, she is, or you are. Remember, usted está, that's formal. Estamos, we are, and están, they are, or you guys are, or you all are, okay? I also put the past tense here just to help you out. Realistically, it's not very common that we're going to use the preterite when using these ing verbs in Spanish, so something like estuve or estuviste. It's much more common that we're going to use the imperfect, which is as follows. Estaba, meaning I was. Estabas, meaning you were. Estaba, meaning he was, or she was, or you were, right, usted. Estábamos, we were, and estaban, they were. A quick note on this little accent. The reason that we need to put an accent here on estábamos is because the natural emphasis on a word in Spanish falls on the second to last vowel. So typically, the natural emphasis falls right there on that a. So then we have estábamos, but it sounds a little bit tricky to say. Therefore, we put an accent over this a, and now the pronunciation is estábamos. Okay, so not estábamos, estábamos. Okay? So, let's take a look at some examples. Estoy hablando con Shakira. And this is something that I do all the time. You know me. I'm always talking with people, but especially Shakira. She's a good friend of mine. Not really, but that's besides the point. So, I am speaking with Shakira, all right? Estoy hablando con Shakira. Now, how would I say I was speaking with Shakira? Well, if we have estoy in the present tense, in the past tense, it would be estaba. So, estaba hablando con Shakira. I was speaking with Shakira. Okay? Really simple, all right? All we do, cut off the AR, ER, or IR, and add on the new ending according to the rule, and they're really quite simple. Just ando, y and yendo. Okay? All right, let's move on to the side of the whiteboard. When it comes to the placement of pronouns when we use this progressive in Spanish, they either go before the first conjugated verb of the sentence, or we can also attach them. So, for example, we have te estás bañando. You are bathing yourself. This is a reflexive verb, bañarse, meaning that you do it to yourself. If you're not sure how to use reflexive verbs, check out the videos here on this channel explaining them, or you can check out our Fluent Spanish for Your Academy by clicking the link in the video description. So you have two options, te estás bañando or estás bañándote. Now, you might prefer to use this one. However, if these confuse you, I recommend that you always put them before that first conjugated verb. It is the golden rule when it comes to placing pronouns in sentences, okay? So anytime you have a pronoun, it can always go before the first conjugated verb, except for when it comes to commands. So something like dame la comida, for example, we're always going to put the pronoun after. But that's the only exception to the rule, okay? So golden rule is put the pronoun before the first conjugated verb in the sentence, okay? So, te estás bañando, estás bañándote. Does the meaning change if I put it here versus here? No, it means the same thing. So this would just mean you are bathing yourself. Once again, notice how now we have an accent over that ah. The reason being is that the pronunciation wouldn't be estás bañándote, right? It's estás bañándote, okay? All right, next, with the progressive in Spanish, it's common that the regular present tense will also kind of behave like the present progressive. So for example, ¿qué estás haciendo? Literally, what are you doing? However, it's very common that native Spanish speakers will just say something like ¿qué haces? Now, ¿qué haces typically translates to what do you do? However, you can use the regular present tense to talk about things that are happening right now or in the near future. So, for example, let's say I'm filming this video and someone calls me and I say, voy, okay? I'll be right there, or I'm going, I am coming, okay? So that is something that would happen now or in the near future. So I can say, ¿qué haces? Or, ¿qué estás haciendo? This is very literal. This is a direct translation. What are you doing? There's no, this could mean that or this. No, it just means, what are you doing? Whereas in this case, ¿qué haces? Could mean, what do you do? Or, what are you doing? Okay, now let's end with a little example here. So, estamos blank una carta para Shakira. So, we are writing a card or a letter for Shakira. Okay, so based off what we've learned, we have an IR verb. We're going to cut off the IR, and now we have escribe, and then we add on the new ending according to our rules. So we will have escribiendo. Okay, escribiendo. Estamos escribiendo una carta para Shakira. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Realistically, the present progressive isn't too tricky. It really is just adding on ando or yendo, depending upon the fact if the verb is either AR, ER, or IR. But that's it. As long as you know that, plus these basic conjugations, right? Estoy, estás, estaba, estabas, and so on, you'll be good. Muchas gracias por ver este video. Click the link in the video description if you want to check out our Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy. Our goal is to help you have a 10-minute conversation in 90 days without feeling nervous. So check that out by clicking the link in the video description. Muchas gracias y espero que tengas buen día. Hasta luego.